of all, today is truly a special day, no doubt about it. I'm very big into history, and when I die, I'm going to come back as a history teacher. This high school has a special place in my heart because, quite frankly, you may not believe it, I graduated 40 years ago from this school, 40 years ago this year, and we were the charter class. My class of freshmen opened the school up in 1969. So that tells me that the boiler got 43 years worth of life expectancy. However, in 1969, oil was $3.33 a barrel. Today, 40 years later, it's $102 a barrel, which is a 410% increase. Quite frankly, we were getting financially, the town, and I say the town, the school committee. By the way, the school committee's here today. I want to thank them. From the town council members are here today. Some people, of course, I want to thank Pam. Pam, basically, I drove her insane. She was great, though. She helped us out getting some of the federal money. Dave Canoia, what you did was fantastic, putting up with us. We really appreciate it. And, of course, there's a few more people I want to recognize, and that's the guy who I haunted all the time. He probably had a cell phone change. That's Joe McLaughlin. Joe was our salesman, and I said, Joe, come on, Joe, we need help. By the way, National Grid has over $100,000 into this program with their own money, and we appreciate that. The taxpayers really appreciate that. And, of course, we have Lori Spangler. Lori's our account manager. We'll be talking to you about the other schools, so don't go too far. Where's Gary? Gary from Delta. Gary, thank you so much for hard work. On time, you were there, you were dedicated for us. Where's Roger? Where's Roger from Gas? Roger's kind of like one of the silent heroes. He put up with a lot of nonsense meetings at the town hall with me yelling, why isn't it done? We got time here, we don't have much time left, because we were dealing in the winter. Pat McCarthy. Pat is the administrator. Where's Pat? Pat, thank you. Pat was able to help work with Pam, help get us about, $250,000 in the federal ARRA money. We call it the Obama money, but it's that ARRA money. So that's sponsored by the federal Department. Right. So that helped us tremendously. It really did. And of course, where's Mark DiPetrillo? Mark's the guy who approved all of the grants. And so, Mark, you should be over here with us. The National Grid guy. We appreciate that. The National Grid did one heck of a job. As I said before, what was happening is, when you look at the price of oil per gallon, and if you look at it for gas, it's like getting to be like a third, really. What's it, $1? It's probably equivalent. It's probably only 40% of what it's 40%. So, but when you look at it, the town of Johnston, the taxpayers, are going to save about $90,000 a year. So I always say that we can have those Arab countries who are really kind of killing the United States nowadays. They can drink their oil when it comes to the Johnston High School heating system. But this was truly an important endeavor for everyone. And this, and I want to thank Dr. DeLulo who's here, who's the school superintendent. Dr. DeLulo obviously let Dave get activated with me and come to the town hall many times. He wanted to make sure that everything went smooth. This was an effort by both the Johnston Council, the Johnston School Committee, and of course the office of my office, I should say. Everyone working together. And this is the results. If you look at the pictures compared with that, it's like having a 1944, and now you're looking at a brand new Jaguar, so to speak. But if you look at those systems, they're energy efficient. It's just so different. We were standing right here. There were tanks here. Plus, we had an in-ground pool. It was really nice if you wanted to swim. It was flooded here all the time, which was really not a good situation. And I know that Dave Canoia did his best. They would have to kind of, during the weekend, shut the system down because we were burning so much oil. So thank God with the savings of gas, we're hoping to a couple of our other schools with the same situation. Just on the savings that we have, tremendous. And it's a savings for the taxpayers. And I know, we have a $90 million budget. They say, it's $90,000, big deal. It is a big deal. Because the thousands add up to hundreds of thousands, and the hundreds of thousands add up to millions of dollars. So we have a system now that's efficient. Everyone works so hard. I hope I didn't forget anybody that's here. But they really worked hard to make this happen. This just wasn't, the mayor's office doing this. Absolutely not. It was everybody. It was considered effort by all those school committee, with their patients, the town council, going back and forth, voting on things, floating the bond that the taxpayers will have to pay. But guess what? We're investing in ourselves. We're investing in the town. And I really don't believe that the taxpayers, mind so much when they know that we're improving the infrastructure of our town. We're not basically paying, as I say, paying someone else's mortgage. Because that's for years and years. We're going to have a get together after the gas pumps, and we're going to save another $35,000 a year there. I'm going to explain that in a little while. But just the savings here, and just the efficiency. I mean, this school is a great school. We've got great teachers. We've got great faculty. We've got great students. But unfortunately, in the wintertime it gets cold. We've got to keep them warm. And unfortunately, our system wasn't doing it. But now we've got hot water tanks. Dave, you want to say a few words because you sure? Yeah, I'm good. You were instrumental. Mr. President, you can say a few words. I'm going to have to.
Sure. Yeah, also alumni of Johnston High School, 25 years, not as many as the mayor, but
thank you.
the teachers. Another asset for the teachers and students to help them in their learning environment. I'm sure that we asked for Central there next, but I'm sure that they'll be working on that. I think he's already working on that at some point. So I'd like to thank everyone that participated. They did a great job. Great. There's more room here for storage, I guess. But keep up the good work and see you in the next project.
Thank you. Before I introduce the school committee chairman, I want to say one thing too. Sometimes, National Grid, they you hear people talking, and sometimes they take a beating because no one wants to pay the cost of energy. But when you stop and think, when you look at when natural gas and what National Grid charges versus the oil company, there's no comparison. There's no comparison of the savings. There's an astronomical savings switching from oil to gas. And what I'm going to say when I go to church on Saturday night at St. Philip's, I'm going to say a prayer that National Grid finds it in their heart to do a couple more grant programs like they did for our other schools. Because we want to get our other schools, obviously, up to the same par, if you will, with the new boilers. It's like getting money, throwing it out the window. We've done our part, putting new windows in some of the schools and doing weird things. But now, it's the heating system. The heating system, basically, is the pulse or the heart that drives the entire school when it comes to heat and hot water. So, and once again, I got to thank Dave because Dave was getting like dumb and kind of using gum to hold things up, not to spend money. We were dumping good taxpayers' money after bad taxpayers' money with those old, dirty boilers. And there's one group that's not here today, and I want to thank A&A Asbestos Removal. They did a phenomenal job. And this was going on while school was in session. And it was very difficult because they had to remove like one boiler, keep the heat on and the hot water for the students. Then they removed another one, hook up the new one. So it was a very tricky. They were kind of like skilled surgeons. That's why I said they were all skilled surgeons on this job because it was very, very tricky. And the last boiler they had to take out was way on the other side. So they cut it up, and there was really minimal disruption, if not no disruption at all. And Gary, being on time meant a lot to us. We appreciate that. On time and on budget. It's amazing. Gary's a Johnston guy, so he realized he's a taxpayer. He realized the importance of these savings. We really appreciate that. Now, once again, as I said, I always say the school committee, I think, they do a phenomenal job with the resources they have. Everything's going up. They knew that the boiler needed to be replaced. It was a matter of time and money. And we did get the money. We were able to get the money to council and my administration. So with that said, I want to introduce our school committee chairwoman, and that's Janice Gibbs.
Well, I have a long I graduated 45 years ago. But I wasn't fortunate enough. I graduated on double session at Perry Middle School. And I want to thank the mayor because, like you said, they were using the NAs. It was unbelievable. And without his help and the council and everybody else, we could not, this would have happened. It is very greatly appreciated. Saves the money in our budget. Very important because we educate.
And we're not asking for the money back, by the way.
No, it's a little nervous about that.